What is up, guys? This is Dedrian Colon from House of Wrestling, and man, tonight was a very special night with the Ring of Honor Final Battle pay-per-view. It's somewhat considered the last pay-per-view before they go on this hiatus till possibly their return in April 2022. But man, tonight was so good. Um, don't know where to start. This card was stacked. The crowd was into it. Um, just throughout the night, it was just everybody you could tell they gave their all. Um, man, I just can't say enough of all the performers that and the wrestlers that were there. That were um, man, it. I've never seen a wrestling pay per view like that. Of course, this pay per view was very unique with the circumstances surrounding it, with the announcement that was made a few weeks back regarding the ROH going on hiatus and everything. So, um, man, it was just really good. There were a few surprises and video messages and everything, but man, it was a really good um, pay per view. Um, I mean, to start it off, I mean the pre-show, you could call it, was just banging. The first match was the Righteous versus Shane Taylor Promotions. The Righteous ended up being the new Ring of Honor six-man tag team champions. Um, then we had Rocky Romero backstage. He's with oh my God, what was it? Violence Unlimited. There we go. And he joined them, and man, Rocky, shout out to Rocky Romero. That guy has been, I believe, this month alone, he's been in AEW, um, Impact, I think, I know New Japan Strong, and I think NWA, maybe, and I know MLW. But man, shout out to Rocky Romero. The guy's doing a tremendous job over here in the states. I tweeted out, he is, you got to put him as the real Forbidden Door, because that guy is really making moves over here. After that backstage segment, we had a Miranda Alizé, Mandy Leon, and Angelina Love versus Allison Kay, Marty Bell, and Chelsea Green. Mandy Leon got the win for her team and everything. That was a really solid match. Just like every match in this pay per view just kept on going. Like it just kept on raising the stakes until, the main event, Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham, just out of this world. After that, you had a video from the Briscoes. Then you had the 10-man tag, where that was just bonkers. You had everybody from PJ Black, Flip Gordon, uh, Cheeseburger, Demonic, Flamita, Will Ferreira, or no, yeah, Sledge. You had Max the Impaler, and shout out to Max the Impaler. That woman is an amazing attraction in professional wrestling. The first time I saw her, I was like, yo, that is a unique look. I love it. I mean, it attracts you. If you're flipping through the channels, you're gonna stop to see who and what is that. Um, it was a good match. It was a really good match, and that was right before the show was gonna start. So you had three matches that were bangers just right off the gate. And shout out to Ring of Honor for putting this cards together, because man, it was really, um, man, it was really good. You just want to keep watching, and see how everything uh, unfolds and everything. So the first match on the card was Dragon Lee versus Ray Horus, and Dragon Lee, Ray Horus. I mean, that lucha libre style and just the counters, and I think that's one thing, with Ring of Honor. This was somewhat tagline the end of an era. Um, Ring of Honor always did a very good job in their matches of like having these special, unique, like you've never seen before counters that in other places you would see them, just go through with the whole move, but this just counters after counters. It was an amazing match. The second match was Dalton Castle versus Joe Hendry, Silas Young, Ray. Rhett Titus. Rhett Titus ends up being the new Ring of Honor TV champion. That was another stellar match. Dalton Castle was hilarious. In the start of the match, he's just walking around with his entourage and he's getting the crowd going while everyone's in the ring wrestling and everything. He's uh, doing his thing, and I'm like, this dude's just in his own world. But it was very entertaining and cool. And just again, this is one match that just after the Dragon Lee um, Ray Horus match, there's another match that just took it to another level. Um, After that, you had the pure title. You had Josh Woods versus Brian Johnson. Josh Woods retains. That guy is awesome. I remember watching his match between him and Jonathan Gresham, where he won the pure title, and that was just amazing. Josh Woods, you got to keep an eye on that guy in 2022. Pretty much everyone on this card, you got to keep an eye on in 2022 because everyone on this card is just exceptional wrestlers. But Josh Woods, that's one. Keep an eye on him. Um, After that, we had Kenny King versus Shane Taylor. This, man, this match used tables, ladders, chairs, and they went all out. There's a spot where Shane Taylor asks a few of the guys from the ring crew to hold the ladder that was going across the ring apron to the barriers, and he did a pile driver that it was supposed to go through the ladder, but kind of missed and went straight to the padding on the outside of the ring. And man, this match, my goodness, I don't know. Shout out to Ross Berman, who does Thomas Island. He tweeted, "God bless everybody in their tailbones," because man, those tailbones, oh my God, oh man, it was hurt. And I think what was cool about um, all these matches up until this point, and even after the matches, there was this show of again honor. Afterwards, you do your thing. In the match you're doing your thing, but afterwards they hugged, shook hands, and kept it moving. But yeah, this match was really special. Man, I think most of the African American wrestlers on that card came out. Shane Taylor gave Kenny King his jersey. They hugged, and man, that was a really cool, special moment. I really liked how commentary put over the fact that Shane Taylor was very adamant about representation and elevating other black wrestlers within Ring of Honor and everything. And man, kudos to Shane Taylor for what he's done in Ring of Honor with the African American wrestlers and their presence and their representation. It's very evident, and you can't deny it. His presence and him lobbying and just being adamant as far as, hey, we got to get more African American wrestlers and elevate them. His fingerprints, you could see it through this card, with the amount of African American wrestlers who were wrestling in high profile spots. That's the key. After that, you had Willow and Rok-C. Oh man, this was a really good match. I tweeted like, hey, these are two future superstars. Rok-C, she just has that it factor. Willow definitely has that it factor. Back and forth, a lot of counters. Again, Willow was, what is it? She's 5'1", and not Willow. Rok-C is 5'1", and Willow is 5'6". So there's a big, somewhat of height difference and everything. But man, did they work it in here beautifully? Oh man, it was so good. It wasn't overkill as far as Willow dominating Rok-C like you see in normal matches with the size difference and the height difference and everything. But man, they worked it so good. Man, it was so good. Kudos to those women for pulling on a very good match. And then afterwards, they shake hands, and unbeknownst to everyone watching, the AAA Women's Champion Deonna Purrazzo comes out and challenges Rok-C for her title. We don't know when that match is going to happen, but it's going to be cool when that match happens. And Deonna Purrazzo is kind of this belt collector. I think she's kind of more of a belt collector, belt challenger than Kenny Omega. She's gone to, let's see, NWA. She's gone to, of course, AAA and won that title. Ring of Honor. Hopefully in 2022 she shows up in AEW and challenges for that title. Hopefully that's in the works. I look forward to that. It's gonna happen. And then afterwards you had Violence Unlimited with Rocky Romero versus EC3, Eli Isom, and Taylor Russ. And this was just like the Shane Taylor match, except without the weapons and everything. But man, this was such a physical match. All these guys just went through it and everything. EC3 gets the Violence got the win, and afterwards EC3 is cutting his promo and everything against Eli Isom and everything. And you see two guys. One of them was, oh my god, I forgot the guy's name. He was in WWE recently. So it's him and another person. They're out there, and again, EC3's thing is control your narrative, control your narrative, control your narrative. And he's talking and he's like, hey, bring out Titan. And lo and behold, it is the former Braun Strowman comes out. And man, does he look good. And does he not kill everybody? He annihilates all of them. Man, he looks good. So we'll see where that evolves and everything, and within the EC3 stable and everything. But man, that's a good one. That is so good. So after that, you have the tag team match for the ROH tag team titles between the Briscoes and OGK, which is Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. Another stellar match. The Briscoes going all out. Hey, could be the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view ever. Again, they're going on hiatus till April 2022. We'll see what happens. But man, they're going back and forth. Briscoes win. They are the 12-time tag team champions within Ring of Honor. They're talking. They challenge. Hey, whatever tag teams want to challenge us, come on, bring it. As soon as they say that, lights go off. All of a sudden, FTR's music hits. FTR, Dax Hardwood and Cash Wheeler come out. They just start beating each other up. They just start going at it, man. It looks like a Looney Tunes cartoon or something like that. So they're fighting and everything. People separate them, and then they just keep going at it, and it's back and forth and everything. So again, another instance where we don't know what's going to happen, but we look forward to where it's going to go. So you already had Deonna Purrazzo, you had Adam Scherr, formerly known as Braun Strowman, and you had FTR show up. So that was pretty cool right there. And then in the main event, you had Jay Lethal versus Jonathan Gresham. Man, this was a really special night, and a special match. Man, this match was so good. I don't think there's any Jonathan Gresham match you can watch and say, oh, it's okay, because I like to compare him to a Dean Malenko, Bret Hart, pretty much a combination of like the great technicians that we've seen. He's just so smooth and just, man. So they're going back and forth, and Jay Lethal, hey, he's a very good wrestler. This was a really good match, and halfway through the match, pretty much more than halfway, towards the end of the match, the entire Ring of Honor locker room comes out. They're hitting the floor and everything, and the mat and everything, and it just gets loud. And man, it's somewhat emotional, because it's like, man, this could be the last Ring of Honor show, and they're just out there, and Lethal and Gresham are going back and forth, and then Gresham puts him in that submission hold, and that's it. So Jonathan Gresham is he captures the old Ring of Honor World title. Of course, Bandito He was unable to attend these this pay-per-view because he contracted COVID, so he's on quarantine and stuff like that. But overall, this was a really good show. Usually I give a letter grade, but this was an A. This was a really good pay-per-view, with everything surrounding it and the uncertainty of, hey, is it coming back in April 22? What's going to happen? Where's everyone going to go? The surprises were good. The video message were tremendous. I mean, you had video messages from Eddie Edwards from Impact. You had Hangman Page from AEW, the world champion. You had CM Punk. You had Jimmy Jacobs. You had Adam Cole. You had the Young Bucks. And you had Bryan Danielson. And man, those video messages were so touching. And you could tell a lot of those guys, again, most of these guys were in AEW, Impact. And, Jimmy Jacobs is behind the scenes in Impact. And man, it was so, man, it got to you because you're just like, you see each person give a video message and you're just like, you start thinking of, when they appeared in Ring of Honor in their matches and just memorable moments and stuff like that. And it was just, oh man, it was so good. But yeah, this pay-per-view was really good. Let's see what happens with Ring of Honor in 2022, and if they come back in April and stuff like that. But it's going to be interesting where these wrestlers go. It's going to be interesting what happens with EC3 and his controlled narrative stable with Titan, aka Braun Strowman. It's going to be interesting what happens with Rok-C and Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo pretty much said, hey, once I beat Mickie James for that Impact title, me and you are going to wrestle, and it's going to be winner takes all. So we're going to see where that goes. Of course, the FTR versus Briscoes. That's going to be fun. And now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't be surprised if the Briscoes show up on Winter is Coming. Possibly get into something with the FTR. I don't know. We'll see. But man, this was a really good pay-per-view for a Saturday night. It was really well done. It was so good. Shout out to Ian Riccaboni, Caprice Coleman. They set the tone by their energy. They were just elated. They were just like, look, this may be the last time. Let's just go. And you felt that on commentary. And oh man, this was so good. I know all these wrestlers, they're gonna land on their feet. They're gonna find a place. Some of them, hey, they might return when Ring of Honor returns, if it returns. Again, we'll see. But man, this was a fun pay-per-view. You could tell it was emotional for the wrestlers, and they have every right. 20 years, man, and the fingerprints that Ring of Honor has had on the wrestling industry, more importantly on AEW and Impact and NWA and MLW, it's prevalent. So yeah, if you haven't watched this pay-per-view and like, Ring of Honor, go watch it. Again, it's a great pay-per-view, great wrestling. It's good. You won't be bored or anything like that. But that's my review for Ring of Honor Final Battle 2021, which might be the last pay-per-view ever for Ring of Honor, but we'll see in April 2022. So my name's Dedrian Colon. This is the House of Wrestling review. Follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Hit the like, follow, and subscribe button, and I will see you when I see you. All right? This is House of Wrestling.